Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tammy White from stampwithtami.com, and welcome to our online class where today we're going to be making Dominic the donkey. I absolutely love that. Okay, have you guys? Do you know the song? I shared the link on YouTube yesterday, and it's also on the resource page because it's a tradition in our family that we listen to Dominic the donkey. It used to be at least once a day. Like the radio station would play it once a day, and when the kids were little, we would play it always when the radio station played it anyways. It brings back so many great memories. So when the Darling Donkeys set came out, I had to do Dominic the donkey. So adorable. And lots of fun. So we're going to be doing these little treat boxes today. I'm going to show you how to make them, Dominic and friends, because there's lots of cute little critters that we can use these boxes for, and more. There's so many great things we can use these boxes for. So they're also great for little treats. But you can see here, I hung one on my tree just because it was cute and it was Dominic. So while you guys are jumping on board, we're going to pop down to the table. I'll show you what we're going to make today. So here's a couple of different versions, a few, maybe 5 different versions, right? So I've got Dominic here. We'll make Dominic because he's so stinking cute. And I'm also going to share how I colored the polka dot ribbon, the polka dot tool here, so that you could make it in just about any color. And I also use, this is from the Warm Toasty stamp set, the deer, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. We've got mice. We've got a little polar bear. Who doesn't love polar bears? And some little bunnies singing, because we're mixing Easter and Christmas in that one. Kidding. Okay, not really though, because it's all good. It's all a good time. Anywho, so these are all kind of sparkly, kind of fun. With these two, I'm using red and green foil. So we sell these foil sheets, super fun. And then with the polar bear, we use some balmy blue. So I'm just gonna do Dominic today because they're all kind of made the same. And these guys on the bottom here were made with some champagne foil. All of that is available in my online store. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is show you how to do the box and how to color. Let's color first. So I'm gonna stamp with Dominic. He's from the Darling Donkeys stamp set, right? Love it so much. I started, I have another video on my, you can go to stampwithtami.com and check out all my videos, but I showed you how I made this jumping donkey card. Oh my gosh, she's such a hit. This one is coming up. This is from the upcoming Sale-a-bration in 2020. You'll be able to earn that free beginning in January. All the rest of what I'm using today, though, the Warm Toasty and the little boxes, the treat box that we're going to use, they're all in the holiday catalog, and it's all being discontinued. So you are going to want to jump over to my blog probably really quickly and check out that sale, because those items are while supplies last. And also there is a clearance rack sale that started today too. And I think, as I'm told, some of those items may have already sold out, so they're going fast. And clearance rack is fantastic. They're just things that are that you can't get anymore. And sometimes they're things that people have really been looking for. So I'm going to start with some Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp Dominic on a piece of white scrap paper. And I'm also going to do this little hat. And for the hat, I'm going to take some Stampin' Right markers because it was a solid image. This one comes from the little treats. So it's a bundle, the box die that we're using today. And there's a stamp set that you can get together as a bundle. The hat here, I think I would like it best red, but I really wanted an outline around the fluff. And I didn't want it red. I don't know. I felt like it all kind of got washed away when it was red. So I decided to get a little creative with it. And I took 2 Stampin' Right markers. Now, these are not blends. These are not the alcohol markers. These are water-based. It's important that I say that because you can't use alcohol markers on the stamps or it'll dry them out. Alcohol dries out the rubber. And so make sure that you're using water-based anytime you do this technique. So I'm going to start by just coloring right on the stamp with real red. And Donna, she's asking a very good question, and I am going to actually touch on that in just a minute. Stampin' Up! Is not getting rid of Stampin' Blend markers. They are not. But there is a reason why they're on the clearance rack, and if you love them, you might want to run over and get them because it's kind of a unique thing that's happening there. So what I did was I just took the basic black and I outlined around the fluff, around the little pom-pom and around the little, the rim of his hat. And then just gave it a little huff to reactivate. And now we've got red with a little black trim. Now I feel like it looks awesome, right? All right, so now, speaking of blends, that was an excellent question. And I appreciate, Donna, I appreciate you asking that, because it's going to segue right into our next thing that we're going to do here, and that's coloring with Stampin' Blend markers. And Donna's asking if Stampin' Up is getting rid of Stampin' Blends because there is a bunch of Stampin' Blend markers on the clearance rack. Some colors have already sold out. If you love these, run over there. I can't promise what colors are left. I'll tell you why they're there. Last year, Stampin' Up changed from selling these individually to selling them in combo sets. So it used to be you could buy a dark, you could buy a light, individually, but they really work best together, and people were just buying them together. You were buying dark and light together. So what they did was they started selling them in combos, and they don't sell them individually anymore. When they released all these blends on the clearance rack today, what they're actually doing is just clearing out what's leftover stock from when they sold them individually. So if you actually want individual markers, get over there fast. I do understand some things have already sold out. So anyways, quick story, short story long. That is part of the sale. The closeouts, actually, that's part of the clearance rack sale. There's also a closeout sale. There's two different things going on, but don't delay, because these things are selling out. They are while supplies last, and it is a great way to get individual Stampin' Blends and other things. There was snail adhesive. The refills have already sold out. The snail refills have already sold out. That's the old adhesive we used to have. So there's some overstock of that on there. Even the full adhesive is just such a great deal that it's worth just buying a bunch of those if they're still left. If they're still left. All right, so let's get coloring. I know it's exciting. I love a good deal, and I love a good sale, especially right now before Christmas. You might want to tell Santa to jump on that if you have stuff you want. Or just maybe buy it for Santa to give to you, because that's what I do. So I'm taking crumb cake Stampin' Blend markers. I'm doing the light. Again, I said these work together. Now these are the alcohol markers. Remember, the markers that I used for the hat were not alcohol markers. Those are the classic Stampin' Write markers that are water-based. And I have to point out that they're different because you don't want to color on rubber with alcohol. Not good. So I'm taking the darker crumb cake and just highlighting a little bit, and then I'm going to go back with the light and kind of blend that in for our donkey. Hee-haw, chickadee-ching, hee-haw, hee-haw. You guys are going to have that stuck in your head for the rest of the day, and if you don't know what Dominick the donkey is, you need to go over the resource page for this class, and you need to listen to it, because it's awesome. And I promise you'll have it stuck in your head for the rest of the day. Okay, so this is the dark soft suede. I'm just going to use the darker soft suede with this. Blending. I'm layering colors here. Sometimes I like to do that to give it a really, really rich color. So I just kind of blended a little bit of the dark crumb cake, and then a little bit more here with the light, until I think he looks amazing. And we'll continue on with our little Dominick. I'm going to color his little hoofs in some, these are like gray granites. So a little bit of light hoofage there. Yeah, we'll add a little dark. I mean, I don't have to go too much on the hoofs, because that's not the where you're really going to be paying attention, but maybe just a tad. And then I'm going to finish it off with some petal pink. A little bit on his little snout. I'm using the light to start with, and then just a little bit of dark, a little bit at the bottom of the ear, a little highlight there on his snout. And he's awesome, right? Love him. Chickadee ching hee haw. He's the Italian Christmas donkey. Okay, so Dominick doesn't have a die. I know, so sad. So he needs to be hand cut out. And you're just going to take your paper snips and snip that out. Now, through the magic of video, I have that all done. Before I move into die cutting, though, I am going to show you how I colored this polka dot tulle ribbon, because it's beautiful. Now, this is in our annual catalog, Rosemary, the blends are not necessarily better to use than Stampin' Write markers. It just depends on what you're doing. There are two different types of markers. They're both awesome. One is not better than the other, but as you can see, you can't color on stamps with Stampin' Blends, and the Stampin' Write markers don't blend as well as blends do. So it depends on what type of coloring that you're doing, which you would like to use. Here is the tool. It's a polka dot tool. It comes white. And I love when things come white because it means we can color it. So any color under the rainbow, and you can do this particular technique with either the water-based markers or the Stampin' Blend markers. I find the Stampin' Blend markers for this particular thing to be very rich. Like, they'll give it a very rich color. So I've got a light and a dark shaded spruce. I'm going to go with the lighter shaded spruce color and the brush tip end of that one. And this is all you gotta do, right? I know it sounded like it was like you know, you're gonna get some dyes out, you're gonna, you know, do all kinds of complicated things, but nope, 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 nope. We're just gonna color it. Now, I'm gonna give you a little tip here. The alcohol markers, because they're alcohol based, dry very quickly, but they will take slightly longer to dry on the fabric. So just keep that in mind when you go to hold it with your fingers. You might, if you hold it, you might get some on your fingers. You might want to use a paper towel to hold it down, or something like that. And when you're done, you can do that in any color, and it gets you any color of polka dot tulle ribbon. Yay! So we'll use that on our box after. So now I'm just going to cut this hat right off. And we are going to do some die cutting. So we actually have a die for the hat. So the hat comes from, Dominick came from that Sale-a-bration Darling Donkeys stamp set, but the hat comes from the Warm and Toasty. I'm sorry, not Warm and Toasty. The other animals came from Warm and Toasty. The hat came from Little Treats, and Little Treats is part of the bundle with the die that we're using today. So here's the bundle here. You can see the stamp set. You can see the die really well here. And there's all kinds of little pieces. I've got some more samples to share after this, after we create this box. So you can see how these other pieces look. That diamond ring looks awesome when you put it on foil. And I have an example to share in just a minute. But wait, there's more. All right, so let's do some die cutting. First thing I'll do is I'll cut out this hat. I'm going to take our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to take the hat die. Sorry, I didn't mean to reach over there. We're just going to take this hat die, line that right up over the hat that we just colored. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fun classes. Oops. All right, so listen. Did you see what just happened? If you have an issue with dies jumping around, sometimes I do. Sometimes it's just, you know, the part of the day. Take a Post-it note, and that'll hold it in place. And then we're just going to run that through. I will also tell you this die set, the box die set that we're using right now, Little Treats, it's on sale while it lasts until it sells out. It's on sale. It's part of the closeout sale, part of the clearance rack and closeout sale. All right, so our hat is cut. Isn't that adorable? And then from the same die cut set, we're going to take the box. So the box I'm cutting from red foil. So I shared at the beginning the red and the green foil. How? Oh, it's yummy, right? It's yummy. So we'll just put that right on the die machine. Right? Totally right, Sandra, she says. She just realized that you could color the ribbon. Sometimes, as much as you love the ribbon, you don't always want white. Sometimes you want to color, and that's why that comes in handy. All right, so I am just going to run this through. Dominick denial. You can't be in Dominick denial. Oh, this donkey set is my favorite. I'm having too much fun. I think really I'm having too much fun with it. This is all there is to this box. It literally just pops together like so. It comes right out of the die. It's so easy, right? It's so easy. And boom, you have your little box. Oh, I'm putting that away, but I'm not done with it yet. There's one more thing I want to do to this box before I jump into our next part of the project, and that is I want to texture it. I want to make it like it's embossed with winter snow. I'm going to use this folder with it, which looks amazing on foil when you emboss on foil. Now the box doesn't totally fit in it, but I find if you angle it just right, you don't know, because these side flaps, they're hidden. They're going to be tucked in anyway, so you're not going to see them. And I'm just going to change the sandwich. The Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine actually tells you what you need for each layer that you do here. And so for, actually, this is not a 3D folder. 3D folders have a special pad that you put them through, and this is just a regular one. So you're going to take 2 cutting pads, and you don't need the thin die adapter that I just took out. That's number 2. They have everything numbered. It makes it so easy. That's a great idea, Lori. She says, if you need a larger box, just leave these sides slightly open. And if you need to fit more in there, so it looks like that. Now, see how you don't even notice that the sides, because they're tucked under, you won't even know that they're not embossed. But that just, oh, it really makes the whole thing with that just small little piece there that we did. All right, so now we are ready for some assembly. So let's go ahead and, there are little scallop pieces up here that get poked out. Let's see, I'll do it real quick with the die brush there. I won't spend too much time on it just because you get the idea. I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff. Okay, so there's little tabs here that just fit in for the inner box, and then the outer box, the outer panel is just goes together nicely, okay, around it, so it hides that little inner box. And then I'm going to take that ribbon and just thread it right through. I want to make sure that the side that I colored comes up. The other side does have a little bit of a lighter color. And if you wanted to do both sides, I mean, you can flip it over and do both sides too. Just so that both sides are the same. It depends on the look you want. Okay, so I'm also going to add a little bit of white to this. Probably could have put them through at the same time, but that's okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull that out and put them through at the same time, because otherwise it's probably not going to go through. I want the green on top, though. So try that again. Just kind of feed those through together so they pop through together. Now, if you wanted to, oops, sorry, my little box. If you wanted to, you could attach. You could put some adhesive on that inner box so it doesn't pop open like that. If you don't want it to pop open, you could just tie this, and it would be really adorable. But I wanted to do something a little bit fun with it, so I took some of this. This is also retiring, by the way. This is in the mini catalog. It was in the Halloween section, but it doesn't have to be Halloween. It's metallic mesh. It totally goes for the holidays, right? So I took that and I tied it around. You know what? I almost want to put a little bit of adhesive because my box is popping open and I don't want it to. Anytime something's being naughty, just throw a little adhesive on it. Your stamp doesn't want to stick to the block, throw adhesive on it. Alright, so I'm just going to just tie that once, like so. Actually, you know what, I might tie it again in just a second. So, one finishing touch on that, I took some of this cord. This is part of a combo set that's in the hall. I believe this is also retiring, this cord. And jingle bells. Alright, so these jingle bells, And the stars that I used on the polar bear, the little glitter stars that go on there, they're all retiring. Not only that, they're all on sale. So they're all part of that sale. But at these prices, I mean, $2.50 for the pack of Jingle Bells, and you know the glitter things are half off. They're not gonna stick around long. They're gonna sell out really fast. So if you want them, jump over and get them. That balmy blue glimmer paper, $2.50 for a whole pack. Oh my god! So, and the little treat box also on sale. Again, you gotta hurry. Stampwithtami.com, because they're not gonna last. All right, so then I'm just gonna take, let's see, for the red, I'm gonna do green, gold, green. If I was doing green, I would do red, gold, red. The reason why I'm not using red is because it's not really gonna show up on the red foil. I'm almost out of Jingle Bells. I wonder if I should order some more. I better go check and see if I have another pack of these. I love these things. I've been using them on everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap that in a little knot, and then we'll tie that right onto the front. I want it to hang down a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. So we'll take that mesh and tie it right through the mesh. Oh my goodness, these sides are... I said I wasn't going to put adhesive on them, and now they're just being naughty. All right. So, Dominick's little hat, which I have somewhere on this table I've placed. If you see it, there it is. Give a shout, because there's a trick to putting that on. All right, so let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of this. This circle also comes from that, the box die set. It was made to actually match. So you can just stick that right on there. Okay. All right, so for the hat, I could just stick it on there and it was cute, but I wanted his ear to kind of, I don't know, I just wanted his ear to poke through. So I took a hole punch and I punched it kind of in the middle, but down near the white part. Like so. And then he could stick his little ear through it, so his ear was hanging out. Super cute, right? I can't stand it. Chickadee ching. You guys are going to have that stuck in your head all day. You're welcome. Hee-haw, hee-haw. All right, so a couple dimensionals, sticks Dominick, and I feel like he has to be playful here. He's got to be kicking his heels up. And the box is complete, and that's really all there is to any of them. They all were done the same way. Just a little bit of coloring with the Stampin' Blends, colored the different ribbons on there. And here's that balmy blue paper that's on sale for $2.50. Oh my gosh. Seriously, that's cray-cray. And then we've got the gold and red foil. So anyways, these are the holiday boxes right here. And as I promised that I would share a few more. So I've got, this is another one from the Warm Toasty stamp set that I used. Oops, sorry, there's a shaving there. This is the Warm Toasty stamp set that I used. All the little critters, aside from Dominick, came from this. Doesn't it make the Donkey Darcy, the little ear sticking out? I just love it. Okay, so I'll put the little sparkly ones up here, and then we've got a deer. He's just, oh dear, he's just on some pretty peacock there. Now, I told you about, let me just show you this again so you can kind of see the dies and the stamp set together. See all the little pieces that are in here? So check some of these out and see what they actually look like when you do them, because they're awesome. They're so cool. All right, so here's that. Remember I said that little ring looks awesome when it's got metal foil? So here's the little ring die. It's a little engagement ring, a diamond ring. And I use the script here to emboss. Just very vanilla, some lace and a little tag on that. Perfect. And I mean, great favors, right? Favors, a little gift. And this is another video I did back in the fall using the little treat boxes. And this uses the spider out of the set. Okay. Yeah. There's the little spider die in here. Let me show you. little spider die in here. That's the diamond ring here. And then the little mice, I'll hold that one up so you can see it. Whoops. And then I'll throw it around. They use those tiny little ornaments. Those are in gold foil too. So fun. So fun. So I have photos of these. You can see the Halloween class on my stampwithtami.com blog. Just click on the videos. So those are all there. And I also have a prize patrol for you guys joining today. And that is the Merry Hello stamp set, which is a hostess stamp set, and it is about to retire. So it is going out with the holiday catalog. So this is a hard to get set, right? It's a hostess stamp set. I'm giving 2 away. I'll draw a winner immediately following this video. If you drop a comment here, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'll draw 1 winner following the live, and I'll draw 1 winner on December 22nd. So you'll have time, well, maybe time to get it before Christmas, but you'll still have time to use it next year because lots of great ideas will be floating around out there. Anywho, leave a comment. You will be entered to win automatically. And just a quick note here, if you're not familiar with my VIP club, this is a great way to get great deals on stamps. I have special offers for my VIP club. They get discounts on my custom card kits and bundles, and they also get free drawings every month, as well as free catalogs and free stamps. And anyways, stampwithtami.com, click on VIP club. It is a great program. I absolutely love it. And I can't say this enough. Do not do not miss. Run, don't walk to my site so that you can take advantage of this awesome sale that's happening right now. It's both the closeout sale and it is the clearance rack was just updated. So that is like the perfect storm of sales, right? It's like everything all together. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this fun little class. I will be back on Friday with another one. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to my channel, and I will look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks for joining me.